I still think they could have made it first page.
I still think that we should be happy that they agreed to print it at all.
Yeah, but they didn't even use a rainbow owl or the dragon we use. All because Harry had to be on the cover once again. And he didn't even do anything this time.
That's the news for you. Anything they can do to get a good story. Gossip or airing out other people's dirty laundry. The Prophet used to let pretty much anything through him back in the day, you know? Anything from wild speculations to, well, straight out propaganda. I guess some habits die hard.
Maybe we need a new tactic.
A different way to get their attention.
Well, all I can think of right now is how to get your attention.
Really?
Teddy, the headmistress wants to see you.
Now?
I wouldn't keep her waiting if I were you. You too, Weasley.
I thought you cast Maffiato! I thought you did! It's not your dorm!
Just hang a tie on the door like everyone else.
Well, shall we go?
Oh, hi!
I'm so sorry. This was all my fault. What did you say? Did she yell?
Not really.
Not really?
Yeah, I mean, she scolded us for sure. Told us we were way too hasty and had no idea what we were doing.
Just like we knew all the witches and wizards would say.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, she also told us that we needed to have proper support before we went and did any grand public announcements.
Yeah. And I'm pretty sure she winked at me.
Wait. Okay, now I know something is really off. Professor McGonagall winking at you? Did you eat something funny?
Teddy, do you need to go see Madame Pomfrey?
No, I'm fine. I think I'm gonna go see Harry actually.
Professor Potter? What, do you think that you were cursed? Who would curse someone to see Professor McGonagall winking at you? Unless you think that she was cursed.
Go away and leave my door, Vicky.
Okay, just don't do anything too stupid. That goes for you too, Carter.
Oh, no, my name's Car.
Yeah. Oh, Teddy, has something happened?
Did you read the Prophet this morning?
You know I never read the Daily Prophet.
Right. Oh, I forgot. Well, did you know that they've actually gotten a lot better, you know, since the war, haven't they? Don't you agree? You know, checking facts and yeah, the consent policy. Well, a lot of them have gotten a lot better since the war. So.
So what's with this sudden need to defend the Daily Prophet?
No reason. It's just it's a good way to reach out to people. Wouldn't you agree? You know, if you have something important to say, because you know, Harry, a lot of people do still.
What have you and Vicky done now? Edward?
We might have published the S.Q.U.A.D manifest in the Daily Prophet.
And what are the contents of this manifest?
It's sort of a call for action. So there's a list with changes that we think, you know, that needs to change, you know, in order for the magical society to move in the right direction. so people can read and become inspired. And
Oh, that's all. Thank goodness.
that's all? What? What, you think S.Q.U.A.D is not good enough for you because we're not Dumbledore's army?
No, that's not what I'm saying at all. When did I say that's not what I meant. No, I completely understand that this is huge for you. Well, it is huge, and I don't think that what you've done with S.Q.U.A.D and manifest is insignificant at all. It's just, well,
Then what?
I was worried that you might have gone and maybe hastily, maybe not, but outed yourself, so to speak, you know, as someone who's different in a similar way to other people in S.Q.U.A.D.
And that would be a bad thing, would it?
Absolutely not. It's fine if you are. But, well, I've always been under the impression that you're doing this for a sense of civic duty rather than for a means of self-expression. Was I wrong?
It's actually a bit of both.
And the whole world needs to know that, do they?
Yeah, so what if they do?
Teddy, you're graduating soon.
I know, that's why I need to do something before it's over.
The world can be a very unforgiving place to people who they perceive as different.
That's the point. That's exactly what S.Q.U.A.D is trying to change. So that queer people can be who they are. Who they really are. So that I don't have to decide on whether I'm a boy or whether I'm a girl. I can just be me.
And you feel like you're not you now.
No. It's like I'm always pretending in a way. Especially here at school when it's so focused on whether you're a boy or whether you're a girl and you can do this and you can't do that. Like the only one I'm not pretending in front of is Vicky.
So you're pretending in front of me too?
A little. Maybe. It's just... I didn't think you could handle it.
Try me, why don't you?
I don't know where to start. Okay.
How about you start with what I can do to make you feel like you don't have to pretend in front of me? I want to know the real you, Teddy.
Okay.
It's okay, take your time.
You could stop calling me your godson? Like, I still am your
Godchild.
godchild. It's just that I don't always feel like a boy, so it gets kind of weird.
Done. What else?
I've quite recently discovered that I prefer the pronoun they. So Vicky, we've been using it and it's feeling better than using he or him.
Like singular they. Like when you don't know the gender of somebody, like before you met them.
Mm-hmm.
You're talking about the doctor and you don't know if it's a... Okay. Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I read that.
Done. Anything else?
Well, if I'm going to be completely honest with you, then I would like you to be completely honest with me about who you are.
I've always been completely honest with you about who I am, Teddy.
No, you haven't. I keep finding out things about you all the time that you have conveniently not told me. Like the fact that you broke into Gringotts and then escaped on the back of a dragon.
Well, that...
I had to find out from Ron at Christmas.
Well, I might have edited a little when you were younger because I didn't want you to get stuck in your head that that might be a good idea, because it's not a good idea.
Well, you still haven't been honest about what happened between you and Ginny.
That's because I don't think that's anyone else's business but our own.
It might be. If the reason is something that you have in common with members of S.Q.U.A.D, then that means that our goals is the same as yours.
I'm not sure I understand what you mean.
Harry, if you are, not that interested in women, maybe not at all, maybe you're interested in something else, then that's totally fine. And there are members of S.Q.U.A.D who feel the same way, and we would totally back you up. So it doesn't matter if you like women or men.
And if this was the truth, what would this support look like?
We would support you telling people, and then we could fight discrimination together. So in the future, people wouldn't even need to come out. Like, this conversation would just not exist.
Look, Teddy, look, I understand, and I appreciate your passion. I really do. And I appreciate your support. I'm not saying you're right.
But I am.
I'm not saying you're right about my sexuality, because that had nothing to do with why me and Ginny ended our relationship. It's just, it's not a good idea the way things are.
Why? Just think about the change that you can make for witches and wizards of all ages, who are just like us, but they can't be themselves because they don't have Harry Potter as their godfather to support them. But you could still be there for them, Harry. If you could just do a tiny interview and talk about S.Q.U.A.D and why it's important, you could make
Teddy,
an amazing
Teddy,
change for people. And
Teddy.
just what?
Please, just stop this. Look, I don't care about how people see me, right? I'm way beyond it at this point. But it's not just me. It's not just me that this is about. There are other people. Doesn't matter. There are other people whose dirty laundry would get aired out in public along with mine. And that's not right, that's not fair to them, that's not fair to...
Yeah, but I don't think Ginny would care if you just spoke about who...
It's not just about Ginny. Please.
But I don't understand.
I know you don't. But these are my boundaries. This is where I draw the line, and I know you don't understand, but I need you to respect it anyway. The same way that I can never understand what you're going through, but I respect your boundaries and your pronouns and whatnot. Please, I'm sorry. I'm sorry that I can't help. I really am. But I need to get back to grading, and you should work on your nudes. Remember?
Sure, whatever.
So, what did he say?
He won't do it.
Okay, did he say why?
Something about it being too risky. And I don't get it. He's the one who was not in just one, but two rebellious groups when he was at school. And the leader of one of them.
Maybe it's easier as a student than as a teacher?
Well, it shouldn't be. We have almost no power here, and yet we are the ones who are risking everything. I've honestly lost track of how much time I've spent in detention this past school year. And that's because that's one of the few things that I can do to support the students who are actually brave enough to stand up against their bullies and rules and just everything that's wrong here.
Maybe it wouldn't look good for Harry's career to be the first teacher to openly support S.Q.U.A.D. What approach did you use? Which one of the goals did you focus on? Well, he must agree with at least some part of the manifesto.
It was more about him supporting S.Q.U.A.D as a member of S.Q.U.A.D and him not wanting to come out.
Come out? As what?
I'm not 100% sure, and it started with him using a suspiciously amount of hypothetically. But I think Harry might be bisexual.
Teddy, that's huge! The boy who lived, savior of the wizarding world, bi? Just imagine what that would do, not just for S.Q.U.A.D, but for all queer magical folks.
I know, that's what I said. But he just went on about, it'll probably have a bad effect on the people around him and that I should respect his boundaries or whatever.
Yes, well, I suppose the prophet does have a history of not being too kind to Harry.
Harry was actually worried that I used the S.Q.U.A.D manifesto to come out myself as being different, which led to me finally coming out to him and telling him that I'm not doing all of this just because of my generous Hufflepuff spirit, because it's important to me on a personal level, and I am one of the students who need things to change around here.
Okay, and how did he take it?
He doesn't understand it, but he's going to try really hard to make me feel more comfortable. So we kind of had a little talk about pronouns and things like that.
So wonderful! I'm so happy for you. How do you feel?
Good. I mean, it is scary, like super scary, because I don't want things to change. I don't want it to get like weird.
Well,
but it's also such a huge relief.
Maybe things will change, but for the better.
I hope so. And Harry being super respectful and just being there makes it really hard to be angry at him for not openly support S.Q.U.A.D. I mean, even when he should be a member himself.
Maybe it's not only his career that he's worried about.
What do you mean?
I mean, it's not only this job, but any future job on the line as well. Think about it. Kingsley has been working really hard on the werewolf support system, and there are now laws against discrimination against Muggleborns, so your asshole boss can no longer fire you for being Muggleborn, but there are no laws to protect people against discrimination against people with different sexual orientations.
But McGonagall would never fire
She
Harry.
might be forced to. Remember what Aunt Hermione told us about their second year when Dumbledore was suspended. And your dad too. He was forced to retire just so that the governors wouldn't make Dumbledore fire him.
Do the governors really have that much power over Hogwarts?
Well, they're supposed to vote on different issues, but we all know that people can be persuaded by the right or wrong methods or threats.
I don't think they would need to be persuaded on this one. We know firsthand what a lot of pureblood students think about S.Q.U.A.D and its members. Where do you think they get it from?
But there are students in S.Q.U.A.D who are pureblood as well. And some of them even have supportive parents. Or godfathers.
Maybe that's why Harry was so scared of me using the Daily Prophet to come out. Even though that's something I would never do.
Right.
Right. I mean, come to think of it, there's no protection against discrimination based on gender identity or expression as well. So, your boss, asshole boss, could fire you if they see fit.
It really doesn't stop at Hogwarts grounds, does it? Well, that's why S.Q.U.A.D is so important. So that in the future, you or anyone else, even older people, will be able to, Harry, or whoever, will be able to be themselves fully and openly without being afraid of persecution.
Yeah. But why is it always us younger people to do all the work? You know, why do we always have to be the ones who lead the revolutions?
I suppose the older people have more to lose, and we have very little to lose, and everything to gain.
That was totally punk rock though.
Lupin, Weasley! Did you see it?
See what?
I can't believe you did it!
Did what, Connie?
Oh no.
Has Minerva McGonagall lost her marbles? The headmistress of Hogwarts comes out in support of controversial youth movement S.Q.U.A.D. What does that mean?
Read it!
Okay. Okay. Minerva McGonagall, Grand Sorceress of Transfiguration, member of the International Confederation of Witches and Wizards, 3-time recipient of the Order of Merlin First Class, respected headmistress of Hogwarts, states in an exclusive press release this Friday that starting next term, the school management will look into a gender-neutral option for the dormitories at Hogwarts.
Really?
What?
Yeah. Keep reading.
Okay. It is high time to put aside the truly outdated idea that one can steer young people away from untoward behavior by indiscriminately separating boys and girls. Well, says Headmistress McGonagall, it has been brought to my attention that unquestioned traditions have caused unnecessary suffering for those students who don't feel comfortable in their assigned dorms. When asked to clarify what this will mean for future and current students at Hogwarts, she replies, there will be very little change made to how the school operates. The students will simply be divided into dorms based on other criteria than gender. And every head of house will work to see that the sleeping arrangements are, if needed, an active dialogue with the students throughout their years at Hogwarts. No one should feel unsafe or uncomfortable in their dorms, no matter if they have just arrived at Hogwarts or are about to leave. It is understandable that many of our readers will raise concern about this change, especially considering the strange and somewhat inscrutable manifest of the group calling themselves Sorcerers Queers United Against Discrimination. That's us. Published in this very magazine only a couple of weeks ago. We have asked the headmistress whether her decision to change the dorm policies at Hogwarts has anything to do with this youth organization, to which she answers, Why, of course. We should all look to new generations to guide us towards the future they want to build.
Yeah. See? She did wink at me.
She did wink at you.